Hey, good morning, everybody. 10 Tampa Bay Meteorologist Grant Gilmore here with you. Just got done with a weather cut in there on our main channel, but I wanted to bring you guys an update here on Facebook and on YouTube this morning as we track what is still a tropical. Well, it's a potential tropical cyclone, not technically a tropical depression, not a tropical storm, though it is producing tropical storm force conditions. A little confusing, I know. I'll try to break that down in just a couple of seconds. But I'm glad you're here with us this morning. I've got your comments rolling over here on the side. A lot of you saying that we could use some rainfall. No doubt about it. I mean, definitely some areas that are a little bit in the deficit for the rain department. But let's show you what we have out there this morning. This is what we're tracking, potentially Tropical Cyclone Number 1. It's a mouthful. Basically, it's a system that is on its way to becoming a tropical storm. It's organizing, it's starting to find its organized central circulation, and until it does, it'll just be called that potential tropical cyclone. Let me give you a live look around the area right now from some of our weather cameras, where we've got a little bit of mid and upper level cloud cover, though if you look at Clearwater Beach, you'll see the clear skies looking to the north and to the west. But anywhere you look generally south and east, you will notice the cloud cover that has been streaming in out ahead of this approaching system. So here's what it looks like on the satellite and radar. You can see it's just cloud cover, mainly mid and upper level cloud cover from the south and west, and we're already beginning to see some light showers moving into southeastern Highlands County. So Lake Placid, you might start to see that rain within the next 30 minutes, and then we'll continue to watch those showers move in from the south over the next several hours. So that's going to be the plan. Let's take you back down there, show you where this thing is going. It's moving to the northeast at 6 miles per hour, and then it's going to start to pick up that forward speed later on this afternoon as it starts to get picked up in some of that westerly flow there in the southern Gulf of Mexico. One thing that we've seen this morning is more of that westerly shear, which has been taking all the thunderstorms and keeping them all over on the east side of that storm. So we've been doing this for the last couple of days, but if you were just to take a line and draw it right down the center of the storm like that, you can see anything on the west side is, oh, not there, let's try that again. Anything on the west side is working with almost clear skies, and then everything on the east is cloudy, stormy, rainy, and that's the way this whole system is going to come in. As it continues to track to the north, it's going to take this shield of precipitation and just keep it on the east side. So once that storm moves east of us, we'll be into those clear skies, and we'll look for those clearing conditions into the second half of our weekend. Just a quick note, we've got a Hurricane Hunter flight in the storm right now, checking it out. So far, it has found some surface winds up around 47 miles per hour, so maybe a little bit stronger than it was at the 5 o'clock advisory earlier this morning. They didn't note this in that 8 o'clock advisory that just came down. We're going to see another Hurricane Hunter flight in the storm 5:30 this evening. So between now and then, we're not going to get as many updates, but of course, we can always use that satellite to update the forecast and how we're going to see this thing develop. So what we're getting right now from that Hurricane Hunter is going to be critical for what we're going to see for the next 10 hours or so. But here's the plan. This is the latest forecast track. One thing that the Hurricane Center has noted in this forecast is that it looks like it's going to be moving a little bit faster, which means earlier arrival, but it also means an earlier exit with this system as well. Also a slight uptick in that forecast wind speed there, around 45 miles per hour. The forecast yesterday was increasing those winds only up to around 40 miles per hour, so maybe a slightly stronger tropical storm. It's still going to be fairly disorganized with all that precipitation on the east side of it. But once the storm starts moving to the east, there around Saturday afternoon, conditions will begin to improve, especially for the west coast of Florida. The east coast of Florida is still going to be dealing with the heavy rain through Saturday afternoon. But by Sunday, it's out of here, it's moving back over the Atlantic, and we're not going to see as much of an impact from there on out. Just a couple of updates in terms of our tropical storm warnings. Yesterday, the tropical storm watches came down for the immediate Tampa Bay area, looking at Manatee, Sarasota County. So all of those got updated to now tropical storm warnings. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're definitely going to get those tropical storm conditions. It just means that it's possible, and we have to be ready for it within 36 hours. So they're on their way, and we'll have to track it. I'll show you a graphic here in a second that shows that probability is still pretty low of actually receiving those tropical storm conditions. But you see inland Manatee County, all of Sarasota County, all of Polk, Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands County, and then obviously everyone south as well, all the way down into the Keys underneath those tropical storm warnings. No hurricane watches, no hurricane warnings. We're not expecting it to become a hurricane. But we will expect for a lot of rain out there. Flood watches in effect for those same areas underneath the tropical storm warning. So we could see anywhere between maybe an inch to 2 inches in Polk County, and then points south, we're just going to gradually increase that chance of rain, or rather the amount of rainfall. There you see, I mean, from 1 to 3 to upwards to 4 to 6 out towards Highlands County. You get into the Fort Myers area, maybe more on the line of like 4 to 5 inches of rain. South of Fort Myers, 6 to 8 inches of rain. And then we really expect that heavy rainfall to accumulate over extreme South Florida in the Miami area, Key Largo, and the Keys, where some of them could pick upwards of 8 to 10 inches of rain, and maybe even a little bit more than that. So certainly a flooding concern down over the southern part of the state later on tonight into really the day tomorrow. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the rainfall. Tropical storm wind speeds, which are wind speeds in excess of 39 miles per hour. The potential arrival times, if you're going to see them, which you see is most likely over extreme southwest Florida, that would be going into tonight through early tomorrow morning. Tampa, Orlando, most of Polk County has anywhere between a 5 to 10% chance of those tropical storm conditions, and then you see just the gradual increase in that probability to the south. In terms of surge, all right, so I don't think there's a huge threat for surge out there, but there may be a little bit of water rise as this large system, we're still relatively disorganized, moves toward the southwest coast, and that might push the water levels up a little bit. Longboat Key down the coast of Sarasota County, maybe a 1 to 2 foot surge. I think that's going to be the upper end of that possibility. I really don't think that's a huge concern at all. Anytime you get a larger low pressure system pushing toward the coast like this with those elevated winds, you might see water levels a little bit increased. So maybe some minor coastal flooding, but I don't think that's the main concern here with this. So overall, it's going to be a rainmaker. We'll see some of that strengthening occur today, but because of that upper level wind shear, that strengthening will be relatively minimal from here on out. It might just organize a little bit more and look a little bit better from on a satellite and a radar perspective, but in terms of strengthening, not expecting too much of that beyond probably the next 12 hours. That rainfall here in Tampa Bay will start to build in. It could be kind of a rainy evening, especially south of I-4, and that's going to continue into the day tomorrow. You'll notice the breeze pick up a little bit tomorrow as well, so we'll start to see those wind gusts, maybe 25 along the coast, around 30 miles per hour, and I'd be careful driving across the Skyway Bridge. You know, tropical storm in the vicinity is going to make for breezier conditions, especially higher up in the atmosphere. So watch for that up there on the Skyway Bridge. Breezy conditions with those pockets of heavy rain will be something to watch through the first half of the day tomorrow. But if all goes according to plan, the bulk of it should start to move out through tomorrow afternoon. We'll have to watch for some flooding and those lingering flood impacts through Sarasota County. I think we'll have to watch that. Polk County, Hardy, DeSoto, Highlands County. The potential is there, but it's not a huge risk. I think if we get a lot of rain in a really short period of time, if we get a couple of bands of heavy rain that move through, we might see some flash flooding. But I think that's relatively lesser of a concern the farther north you go. So it just depends on where you live and what's going to be the best fit for your forecast, depending on farther north, lesser rain, farther south, greater threat for heavier rainfall and accumulating potential for flooding. Planning out the next 12 hours here, I mean, so far so good today. I mean, it's a little cloudy, yeah, but I mean, if you weren't tuned in on Facebook or watched us this morning, you may not even know there's a tropical system coming in. It's just kind of an overcast, gray day. We did have a nice sunrise, but not much in the way of sunshine anymore. That rain is going to become a little more likely into the afternoon hours, so we'll watch for those on and off showers, maybe some gusty winds at times within some of those showers, but nothing that's overly concerning. Again, this is just a tropical storm, you know, so Not a hurricane. We've been through those before. This is a tropical storm. It comes with those inherent risks, but nothing that I think is going to even ruin our weekend by any means. Speaking of which, here's your 7-day forecast. Again, this is for Tampa Bay. You got to kind of tweak these chances of rain up maybe a little bit the farther south you are if you're watching us in the Fort Myers area or maybe South Florida somewhere. But 90s your high today. And then, after Saturday, Sunday's going to be just fine. 91, sunshine. We can't rule out a stray afternoon shower, but, such is life in Florida this time of the year, right? 20-30% chance of rain going through next week with that continued high temperature and maybe a little warmer than normal. 93, normal high is 90, so running just a couple of notches above that normal high temperature. So that is the basics of what I've got for you this morning. That was a little more detailed than what we were able to get into during our broadcast this morning on Brightside, and I'm just kind of scanning through some of the comments here. A lot of you just checking in and saying good morning, watching in Brandon. Happy weekend to you, Mike. Appreciate you watching, sir. Always appreciate you guys just saying hi and checking in. Let's see, who else do we have here? Philly Cole saying it's your favorite season of the year. Look, as long as we can stay safe. And look, it's certainly something. These systems are interesting to watch and interesting to see how they evolve. It's just land always gets in the way. If we could just get these things to do their thing over water and not impact us, then that would be good. But regardless, it's that time of year, right? And it's like as soon as June 1st hits, like all of a sudden we got our first tropical system. Let's see what else we have here. You guys just checking in, saying hey. That's all I've got, guys. Yeah. So we'll have another update from the Hurricane Center at 11 o'clock. That one will come with a new forecast track. We'll get some new updates on whether it's a tropical storm or not. And I don't expect any more updates to those watches and warnings. We'll keep that tropical storm warning up through probably tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night some of those warnings will start to come down as the rain and those winds begin to let up as the system moves off towards the east. So 11 o'clock update, look for that on Facebook as well as on other social media, so whether it's YouTube or Twitter, but also I'll be here on midday as well. So Courtney Robinson is going to be joining me. We'll be talking about the latest updates coming from that 11 a.m. advisory. And, of course, more news and updates coming through the rest of the day as well. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend, and let's just be safe through the next 36 hours or so. We've all been through this before, so don't do anything that you shouldn't. You guys know how to get through these tropical systems, and we will definitely get through them together. So take care, guys. Have a good Friday. Enjoy that weekend. Stay safe, and we'll keep pumping out the updates as they come down. Take care.